guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. So this video, I'm just going to go through Tyler and Brandi, their testimony on the stand during the preliminary hearing last week, which, like I announced on the community tab, that praise God, Stacey Wondra is going to trial for. He's going to trial for the abduction and the murder of Michael Vaughan. And then I'm a little unsure if I'm going to go through some of the other stuff that they went through in court. You guys let me know, because some of that stuff is going to be really difficult to hear as far as on an emotional level. And these are from Law and Crime Trials. That is their channel. They have a couple channels, obviously their main channel, and this one here on YouTube. I will link to it. But you guys let me know if you want me to cover those. I'm going to kind of leave that up to you guys. Like I said, they are tough to hear. But I am here for Michael. I am here for justice for sweet Michael. And, you know, whatever you guys want me to cover, we're going to do it. And we're going to do it respectfully. And make sure we keep this sweet, sweet guy's face out there, because this is all about justice for Michael Joseph Vaughan. So this is from Law and Crime Trials. Their channel. They have a specific channel that does a lot of their trial videos and some live streams. Not that they don't air trials on their regular channel, but I think that they're trying to do some kind of a different organizational stuff now that they've inherited Court TV. And I'm not too fond of the titles they put on these either. But here is Tyler's. He's first, of course, is spoken to by the state, and then the defense. And I will pause occasionally to give commentary, as, you know, fair use, we have to do that. But I will post the link to these in the information of the video.
Who, in July of 2021, did you have a son living there with you?
Yes.
And what was his name?
Michael Joseph Vaughan.
Okay, and how old was he at that time?
5 years old.
Okay, and did something happen that day that you are going to remember for the rest of your life?
He went missing.
Okay, and so when's the last time you remember seeing him that day?
In the living room while I went back to pick up his little sister.
Okay, and so after you seen him in the living room, do you remember about what time that was that you saw him? And the way you're saying that, is that a rough estimate?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. After you see him in the living room, what did you do? Or what were you doing that?
I was going to wake up his sister.
Okay. And so when did you notice that Michael wasn't in the house?
When I came back in from outside, I had woken up his sister and left her and went outside and came back in, and that's when I noticed he wasn't in the house.
Okay, do you know about what time you came in and noticed he wasn't there?
Between 6:45 and 7.
Okay. And so what did you do once you realized that he wasn't in the house?
I turned the house upside down, called my wife, and jumped in the van and started driving around his neighborhood.
Okay, and was it normal for Michael to go missing?
He had walked to a neighbor's on one or two occasions.
Okay, and when he had walked to the neighbor's house, was that like a recent event, or had that been a while prior?
Not within the last, both instances within the last year, or maybe the year prior to the 2021.
Okay, and in those previous instances, did he come back on his own, or did you have to go out and find him?
We went out and he was already there being brought back, so a little of both.
Okay, and when you say being brought back, is that the neighbors bringing it back? And so on this incident, on this occasion, on the 27th of July, you mentioned you went out looking for him. So, or you mentioned you tear the house apart and then went out looking for him. Where did you go to look for him?
I drove down to the splash pad and then drove all the way down 8th Street, down into the hay farmer area that's down by the river, and then turned around and came back up. And I think I went home and then went out on foot after that.
Okay, and do you remember the time that you got home and then went out on foot? Like, do you remember the time roughly when that transition happened?
It was while I was on the phone with Brandi. It was sometime between 7 and 7:20.
Okay. And so when did you call, who's Brandi?
Brandi's my wife.
Okay, and was she living there with you at the time?
Yes.
And so about when did you call Brandi? Shortly after 7 o'clock, maybe 7:20. Okay, did you call her while you were driving? Or
Yes.
when you got back?
When I left to go drive.
Okay. So after you called Brandi and you went looking on foot, what happened after that?
We came back and the officers were there and we hung out in front yard for the remainder of the week.
Okay, and when you said, did you notify law enforcement?
Yes, I called the police at around 7:20.
Okay, and you mentioned you hung out there around the rest of the week. Were you waiting to see if you got news of Michael?
We were told to stay in place or whatever, but yes.
Now, you have to remember when he does seem a little bit unsure about his times and sort of exact things. This has been almost 5 years that this happened. And I think he remembers that day very, very clearly. I believe that. I believe the family completely remembers the day Michael disappeared, was abducted. But, the times and that sort of stuff, those can be hard to remember, as time goes by. That's for sure.
Marked as State's Exhibit 1 and State's Exhibit 2. Do you recognize the person in those photos?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know know how close in time to when he went missing these pictures were taken?
Right before, within, I think one of them was on his birthday, so a little over a month.
The state moves to admit exhibits 1 and 2.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection.
States 1 and 2 will be admitted.
Since July 27, 2021, have you seen or heard from Michael?
No.
And has anybody, did you have any prior contact with Mr. Wondra to defend the state?
No.
Okay, and are you familiar at all with the Wondra household? Or at the time that this occurred, were you familiar at all with the Wondra household?
No.
On the day that Michael went missing, do you recall what he was wearing?
That was a Pokemon shirt and like boxer briefs.
Okay, is that what he went outside in?
He was inside the last time I saw him, but if he went outside, that's what he was wearing.
And as far as the shirt goes, how confident are you that it was a Pokemon shirt?
I'm pretty confident it was a Pokemon shirt. As to what was on the Pokemon shirt, it's debatable. He had several of them.
Is it possible he was wearing a Minecraft shirt?
Oh, it was a Minecraft shirt. 100% was a Minecraft shirt. I'm sorry. He had a lot of both.
Or is Pokemon a child's cartoon?
Yes.
And is Pokemon a child, or is Minecraft a child's game?
Child's game.
Or, I guess maybe it's not.
Confused.
No worries. I guess maybe it's not a child's game necessarily. And do you recall specifically the configuration of the
I
shirt?
do not. It had several characters on it from what I recall.
And I was going to save this for your wife just in case, but do you remember Michael's birthday?
2016, June 24th.
All right, thank you, Tyler. No further questions.
All right. Any questions from the defense?
So they didn't ask him too much, the state. Now the defense, it's probably going to annoy you guys a bit. Now we have to remember, okay, even though this is not the actual trial for Stacey Wondra, aka Monster, a defense lawyer, attorney, they're going to try to discredit a witness. And that's exactly what they try to do with Tyler.
Mr. Vaughan, I'd like to get a little bit of the lay of the land of the neighborhood. So your address is what again?
911 Southwest 9th Street.
Okay, so in your neighborhood on 9th Street, can you give us kind of the configuration of that neighborhood? There is, and let me ask you a specific question. There is a kind of a major street to the north of 9th Street. What is that street?
To the east of 9th Street would be, what is that? I'm not good with streets.
Where's 8th Street?
8th Street is one street over to the north.
Okay. Now, does 8th Street, is that like a major corridor that separates?
From all the neighborhoods that are off of that main road, yes.
Okay, so your house and 9th Street is on what side of 8th Street?
The west side, or I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yes. So your house is on 9th Street. 8th Street is in what direction from your house?
To the north.
Okay. So that's what I was getting at. 8th Street is to the north of your house. Okay. There is a subdivision on the other side of 8th Street, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where the splash pad is?
Yes.
Okay. So the splash pad, would it be correct to say that the splash pad is actually part of the subdivision on the other side of 8th Street?
Yes.
Okay. Have you spent time at that splash pad?
Yes.
So you know how it's configured?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's look at the major roads kind of surrounding that neighborhood. Is 8th Street a major corridor, or does it kind of end?
It's a dead end at the western end.
Okay. And so where it dead ends, is there a dirt road that goes off of 8th
Yes,
Street?
it drops down in the field.
Okay. And where does that dirt road go?
In the farmland, and not farmland, there's some ponds down there, I think, and haystacks. I haven't done much exploring down there.
You have been down there, though?
I drove down to the haystacks and turned around and went back.
Okay. Is that where you get to the river?
It looks like there may be access to the river.
Okay. Have you ever been down to the river there before? No. Never been fishing down there or anything? No. So when you're driving down that dirt road that kind of feeds off of 8th Street, is there a drop-off on the right-hand side of that dirt road?
Yes.
And where does that drop off into? Is there like a swampy area down there?
Yes.
Okay. And what's on the other side of that swamp? Do you remember?
More land, and the river's over there somewhere.
Is I-84 right there as well?
I-84 is also over there.
Okay. Now, so as you're going down that dirt road, to your right is that drop off in kind of the swampy area, right? What's on the left of that dirt road?
Farmland.
Okay. So, kind of surrounding your house there on 9th Street, you have 8th Street that runs into that dirt road, and that dirt road goes down to the river, right?
Yes.
And some farmland, yes. Okay. And on the right is a swampy area, and then across from there is a highway.
Yes.
Okay. And on the left side of that, and kind of right near 9th Street, is a big field. Is that accurate?
At the very end of 9th Street is a big field.
Okay. Is that field farmed, or is it just wild?
It's farmed.
Okay. And let's go to the splash pad now. So the splash pad is part of that subdivision to the north of your street?
Yes.
Okay. And what is a splash pad?
It's a place for kids to go and play in the water.
Okay. And so there are water features there?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a tunnel from the splash pad that goes under Highway 95?
No. You have to go out of the splash pad in the neighborhood to the east of that, and then off of that little, it's just a one-street neighborhood like 9th Street, and off of that is the tunnel that goes to off there. But there's a trail or a pathway that leads from the splash pad to that street to the tunnel.
So you can access from the splash pad, you can go underneath Highway 95 to the other side of Highway 95, right?
It's not an immediate cross, but yeah, I mean, it's accessible.
Okay. Was your son Michael, was the splash pad someplace that he liked to go?
Yeah,
How often would he go there, would you say?
I've been there a dozen times or so.
Would he ever go there alone?
He tried to go there alone once when his brother went there.
How did that go?
Not well. Grandpa found him and brought him home, and he got in trouble. And
Did that happen more than once?
he had wandered off one other time.
So I'd like to go through a little bit of your routine. This is is the day that Michael went missing is July 27th, 2021.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
What day of the week was that? Do you remember?
Tuesday.
What is your routine on a typical Tuesday?
I had that day off, so I was spending with the kids.
Do you have every Tuesday off? Or you did it that time?
Did it that time.
Where did you work?
I was at Albertsons.
Tell us what your routine is on your day off. Generally, you don't have to go minute by minute, but
Play with the kids, make them lunch, wait for Brandi to get home, eat dinner, go to bed.
just tell me about Brandi. Where did Brandi work at the time?
Brandi also worked at Albertsons.
Was she working that day?
Yes.
What was her shift?
I don't exactly recall. I'm guessing probably something like 5 to, or probably earlier than that, like 2 to 8 or something like that.
No, you're saying 2 to 8, 2 in the afternoon to 8 p.m.?
Yeah.
So Brandi would have been home Tuesday morning?
Tuesday morning.
You had other people living in the home, right?
Yes.
And who would they be?
My father,
And your father's name?
Bob Vaughan,
And who else?
Randy, Ben, and Kira. Ben and Kira, my bonus kids.
And so what's Ben's last name?
Nevo, G-H-E-V-O.
And Kira? How do you spell Kira?
K-I-R-A.
And you refer to these as bonus kids. Are these kids of Brandi's
Yes.
from a prior relationship? Okay. And how old are they?
Now or then.
How old are they now?
19 and 15.
Kira's the oldest.
Yes.
Did they live at your home at that time?
Yes.
Were they there that day?
Yes.
All day?
Yes. Kira left after the fact, or during the fact. She left right around the same time that he went missing.
But she was home the rest of the time?
Yes.
Now, when you have Tuesdays off and you're spending, so this is just family time basically?
Yeah.
Spending time with the kids? Okay. So you indicated that the last time you saw Michael was around, what time was it when you went to wake up Michael's sister? And can you refresh my memory, what's her name?
Arya,
How do you spell that?
A-R-Y-A,
And how old was Aria at the time?
2.
And what was her nap time?
Whenever she was taking a nap.
Okay. So at this particular time, Brandi had already gone to work at about 2.
Or earlier, yeah.
Okay. And Araya was down for a nap. Do you remember the time that she was napping?
So it was between 5:30 and 6:30.
And does she have a designated room?
She sleeps in our, or she slept in our room.
So what time was it, to the best of your recollection, that you went in to wake her up?
6:15, 6:20.
And to the best of your recollection, you think she went down for a nap at about 5:30?
Yes, 5:30.
Can you tell us about what things you did with Michael on that day?
We were playing with his monster trucks. We were looking for all the pieces to one of his, it was like a stadium for all the trucks.
Were you playing with him outside or inside?
Both.
Does he play video games?
Yes.
Was he playing video games?
I don't recall playing video games that day. I know he was on his Switch that day.
So to the best of your recollection, at about 6:15 is when you went in to wake up Aria?
Yes.
And did you see Michael at that time, or did you just assume where he was?
I saw Michael when I went to wake up Aria
Okay. And where was he exactly?
in the living room.
And what was he doing in the living room at that time?
We were playing with monster trucks.
Was he alone?
Yes, and his brother and sister were in their bedroom.
When you went in to wake up Raya, tell us what that looks like. How much time did that take?
She's not easy to wake up, so I mean, it took a little bit. Did not do it in a way where she was going to be a pain for the next while. But, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes to wake her up, and then I changed her diaper and ordered pizza.
Okay, so when you are trying to wake up Aria gently, you're in the room with her, and Michael's not there at that time with you.
Right.
To the best of your knowledge, he's still in the living room playing with his trucks.
Yes.
This entire process of waking her up and then ordering pizza, when you order pizza, do you have a cell phone on you and you order the pizza while you're with Aria?
Yes.
So you don't go to anywhere else in the house to order pizza?
No.
And to the best of your recollection, you ordered pizza at what time?
6:30, 6:45.
And so what was the very first time again that you went out into the house and realized you didn't see Michael, didn't know where he was?
I went outside at that point and came back in around 7, and he wasn't in the house.
Now, you say throughout this process, Michael had a proclivity for kind of wandering around the neighborhood, right? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And he liked to play with other kids in the neighborhood?
He didn't have specific playmates in the neighborhood, but he liked to play with other kids.
And so when you realized he wasn't there, did you go and look at some of these other places that you thought he might be?
I drove his splash pad.
Any of the neighbors? Did you check in with any of the neighbors?
Any neighbors that I saw, I asked if they had seen me.
Now, when you say, let me ask this to the best of your recollection, when did you truly become alarmed?
When I checked the house and he wasn't there and started, when I was on the phone with Brandi, it was pretty alarmed.
And that was around 7:20.
Between 7 and 7:20.
What was Brandy's reaction?
She thought he was hiding and I was, overreacting. And then she got more concerned the more I got concerned.
Did you have multiple conversations and phone calls with her, or was it just
She was on this phone the whole time with me.
Okay. And about how long were you on the phone with her?
15 to 20 minutes.
When you say you turned the house upside down, what do you mean by that?
Just checked all the rooms, like places that he wouldn't be anyway. My father's room, just the whole house, making sure he wasn't in there. Because he did like to hide from time to time.
And so you turned the house upside down first, and then you called Brandy?
And then I called Brandi and started driving around, yes.
And you had Brandy on the phone with you while you were driving around the neighborhood?
Correct.
And when it became apparent that you couldn't find him in all normal locations, what happened then?
I got off the phone with Brandi and I called the police.
And that's around 7:20?
Around 7:20.
When did Brandy decide to come home?
I think she came home right after I got off the phone with her.
During this period of time, during the day, were you smoking marijuana?
Yes.
And where were you doing that?
In the shop.
How much marijuana do you smoke on an average day?
Average day, maybe a couple of joints.
So, in this period of time, when Aria was sleeping and Michael was playing in the living room, were you smoking marijuana in the garage at that time?
After I had woken up Aria and ordered pizza, I went outside and had finished one and came back in. I was outside maybe 10 10 minutes.
When you say finish at 1, what is a 1?
I was smoking a roach of one that I had lit earlier.
And where was Aria when you were smoking this roach?
Inside with her sister.
And so you woke Aria up and you went to have a smoke. Did you see Michael when you went out of the house and to have your smoke? But you weren't worried about Michael at that time?
No.
See, they're trying to discredit him, saying, "Oh, you smoked a joint," or so what if he smoked one or two? I mean, that did not cause Michael to get abducted. Yes, Michael got out of the house. I mean, that's not debated. He wandered out of the house. There was a, small window of time, between Tyler going to wake up Area, a little buggy, order the pizza, and I guess he stepped outside for a few minutes. The fact is, parents, they do stuff. And it's just, it sucks that they have to harp on him for this, but I give him a lot of credit for, for being really strong here. And I think that that's because he's aware that they're going to get on him for any possible thing. And I hope he knows that we all support him 110%. Tyler had nothing to do with Michael getting abducted. Granted, he walked outside, but that could happen to the best of anybody watching their child babysitting. Little kids are fast. They, 1 second they're sitting in the living room, and the next second, they wandered into another room or wandered, through the garage. It just sucks to me that they have to go through this, and we all know they're going to do it again when they go to trial.
Let's talk about his clothes a little bit. With some jogging of your memory, you realized it was a Minecraft shirt rather than a Pokemon shirt. But you don't really remember the characters that might have been on that Minecraft shirt.
He had several of the Minecraft shirts. I don't remember the specific ones, but in my head, it had a lot of characters on it.
Do you remember the color of the shirt?
I believe it was light blue.
And when you say boxer briefs, to me that's underwear. Was he wearing underwear or were these shorts?
They were underwear, but they were shorts.
What does that mean?
They were underwear, but they weren't like briefs. They had legs. They had legs that went down.
So would this be considered something that he normally wore?
I mean, usually he has pants on or something, but we're just screwing around. It was very hot outside.
Footwear. What kind of footwear was he wearing that day? Do you remember?
He was barefoot when we were messing around.
What's he usually wear for footwear?
He has a pair of tennis shoes that he needs help putting on, and he had just gotten a brand new pair of flip-flops.
To the best of your recollection, it's about the same time you were on the phone with Brandi, right? So it's about 7:20. Okay. And when did they arrive? Do you remember?
Not an exact time. I believe they were there when I showed back up.
And what time did Brandi show up? Do you remember?
It's all kind of a blur. I don't remember exactly when she came in. I think I actually first saw her. I was on foot, like running around.
So let's go through that sequence a little bit. So you get off the phone with her, and she's alarmed enough now that she's going to come home. right?
Yes.
And so she comes home. How do you both work at the same Albertsons?
Yes.
And where is that?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long does it take typically to drive from the Albertsons and Fayette to your home?
10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. So to the best of your recollection, it would have taken Brandi 10 or 15 minutes to get home after you got off the phone with her.
Yes.
So you're talking around 7:45 or so when she got home?
She probably got home sooner than that, but yes.
Okay. Who got home, who arrived at your home first, the police or your wife?
I think they were both there when I came home.
And you were on foot when you came home?
Yes.
And your interactions with police, do you remember who they were?
I believe Anita Toll was the first officer I had interaction with.
And to the best of your recollection, how long did you talk with police when they arrived at your home?
How often?
How long?
How long?
Yeah.
I mean, a long time. I haven't put the whole night.
Now, when police arrived, you told them that you couldn't find Michael, right?
Yes.
Okay. And was Brandi home at that time?
Yes.
And was she talking to them as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now, after police arrived and Brandi had arrived home, you then left, right? You left the house.
After the police came and everything?
Yes.
I think we both left a couple of times for like minutes.
Where did you go?
Up and down the street.
So this is a fluid situation. You're talking to the police and you're still kind of looking around for
They
Michael.
wanted us to stay there. We didn't go very far, but I mean, up and down the street for sure.
So the police instructed you not to go anywhere?
Yes.
And you did go.
I'm not out of like shouting distance. Like I mean, we were maybe even line of sight. Like honestly.
Okay, so you didn't get in a car? You didn't drive away?
No.
And so your testimony here is today is that you never went far enough away so you weren't outside of yelling distance or within
Not
line
after
of sight.
we came back home to the house, or that I came back home to the house.
So once the police arrived, you stayed in close proximity.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. No further questions.
Any redirect from the state?
No, Your Honor.
So that was pretty much the extent of Tyler's testimony. Again, I think they were a little bit rough on him with the whole smoking thing, but I think that it's going to be kind of a kid glove situation here, because unfortunately at trial, I have a feeling that the defense is not going to be real nice, and I hope I'm wrong. I really do, but the fact that they're defending Monster there, I mean, yes, I know. In this country, we all have the right to an attorney and a good defense, but it just sucks to me at the defense, at the expense of this family, and potentially pulling this mother and father, into garbage, and yeah. So, like I said, we'll have to see what happens when the trial comes up, later this year. So next up will be Brandi's testimony.
Okay, are you familiar with Michael Vaughan?
Yes, I am. He's my son.
Okay. And there should be an Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with those pictures?
Yes, I am.
Do you know how old Michael was when those were taken?
Right before he turned 5. This was in, I want to say, May or...
Okay, when you say this, which picture are you referring
this picture.
to? Okay. And that is...
This is the same. This is the same day.
Okay. And is that State's Exhibit 2?
Yes, that is
Okay.
true.
And so I interrupted you. Do you recall when that was taken? Okay. And how old was he?
4. He was almost 5.
Okay. And do you remember how long before the 27th that would have been?
Probably about 3 months. 2 months, excuse me. 2.
And so jumping forward to July 27th, how did your day start?
Got up with Buggy, fed her. She was still having drink bottles at the time. And I drove Pidge as Kira to practice that one. Somewhere around 7:30 a.m. I want to say.
And when you say Buggy, is that?
Oh, Aria, excuse me.
Okay. And did you go to work that day?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you get a call from Tyler?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And so, what was the nature of that phone
Well, I called at my lunch break. I had 2 phone calls with Tyler that day. So I called around 4 o'clock in the afternoon and said hi. What are the kids doing? How's the day going? What's for dinner? And then I received a phone call from him around 7 o'clock.
call? Okay. And when was their shift supposed to be over?
9.
Okay. And so when you get the call at 7 o'clock, what did he tell you?
That he could not find Michael. He had looked around the house and outside. He was still looking when he called.
Okay. And how did you respond to that phone
At the beginning, I told him to go in our bedroom and look under the bed by the wall. There's a spot under there where he likes to hide because you can't get under there.
Okay, and then, so did you stay on the phone when he
Yes.
answered?
So it was odd for him to call me. So I had a meat coat on, and I just put him in my pocket. I was dealing with a customer at the time that he had called me.
Okay, and there's a couple of things here. What is a meat coat?
It's a long white jacket that you button up. I worked in the meat and seafood department, so it keeps from getting blood on you.
Okay, and when you said you put him in your pocket, do you mean you put your phone in your pocket while Tyler was on?
Yes.
Okay, and so keep going. So what happens after this?
So I pick up the phone and I ask him, I'm like, hey, and at this time he's screaming Michael's name. And I said, did you find him? He's like, I can't find him anywhere. And he said he was going to he's getting in the vehicle to go look for Michael. And I just I put my phone back in the pocket, finished dealing with the customer. I had another coworker, they seen me, I looked panicked.
So I'm going to have you pause for just one moment here. So, Mr. Tyler Vaughan has remained in the room, which is fine. I guess as a victim, actually, we don't need to understand him, so that's okay. I'm excluding witnesses, but I presume the state perceives him as a victim.
That's correct, Your Honor. Yeah, both Tyler and Brandi.
So never. So just more typically, after a witness is done, I expect them to leave. If they stay in the room, they want to make sure people know it because they're not going to be subject to recall or with an insurance. So apologize. Go ahead.
Your Honor. All right. So where you left off, you were starting to feel panicked, or you believe you looked panicked.
Yeah, well, I was starting to panic, and I seen another coworker walking in front of the meat counter, and I asked her to go outside and get my coworker that was working in that department with me that night. He was out on break, and when he came in, I told him that Tyler couldn't find Michael. We had an office right outside of the meat department. And I was in there on the phone with Tyler. He's screaming, and my coworker, he told me, he's like, go, just don't even worry about anything. So I ran, I grabbed my purse from the locker room. I ran into my vehicle and drove as fast as I could to Woodland.
Okay, and so So you left work early to go help look for Michael?
Yes.
Okay, and while you were driving to Fruitland, were you still on the phone with Tyler?
Yes.
Okay, and so what happens next? Are you still on the phone with him when or do you drive straight to your house?
Yes.
Okay, were you still on the phone with him when you got to the house?
No.
Okay, after you hung up with him, did you call anybody else while you were driving?
My daughter.
Okay, and what was the nature of that conversation?
I was panicked. I told her that Tyler couldn't find Michael, and I asked her if she had seen Michael, and I told her that I needed her home now because we couldn't find Michael.
And so then, had you finished that conversation by the time you got home?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what happened? What happened next?
I saw Tyler, and I thought he was with an officer, and I asked if he had found him, anybody seen anything, and I took off down to the splash pad. I saw two women down there, and before I even got up to them to ask them if they had seen a little boy, they were already told me that they had not seen a little boy in resemblance to Michael.
Okay, so did you draw on, or how did you interpret them telling you that before you even asked?
That he either talked to Tyler or a police officer.
Okay. And so after you talked to ladies at the splash pad, what did you do next?
I went back home. I believe I got out of the vehicle. I was on my phone talking to whoever I could that we couldn't find Michael. I needed help. I needed everybody there to help me look for him.
Did you leave the house at all or for the rest of the night?
Yes,
Okay, and where'd you go?
searching for my son.
Okay. And did you ever locate Michael?
No.
And have you heard from him in any way?
No.
Okay.
When he asked her, have you seen Michael, or have you heard from him since? That just breaks my heart. It really does. And Brandi is very, very strong here. And I don't know how she did it. And I wish I could have given her a really big hug. But I know she's an amazing, amazing woman. And I know she knows that there's a lot of us, Monkey's Army, right behind her.
During the course of the investigation, did law enforcement ask you to cooperate with them in different ways?
Yes.
Okay, and one of those ways, did they indicate to you that they intended to use a live scent track dog?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember what they asked you for to help them with that?
Anything that could possibly have saliva or sweat. I gave them one of his shoes, his favorite pillow, his blanket that his daddy got him, and one of his stuffed monkeys.
Okay, so these articles that you gave him, or who did you give those articles to?
Law enforcement,
Okay.
the FBI.
These articles, had they been, do you remember about when you gave those things to the FBI?
It was dark, so sometime after 9 that evening.
Okay, was it that same evening that Michael went missing?
Yes.
And did you wash any of these items or prepare them in any way before you gave them to law enforcement?
No.
shoes that you would wear.
Yes.
Did anybody else wear his shoes?
No.
Okay. And the pillow, did anybody else use his pillow?
Me.
Okay. Was that during this, or before he went missing, would you use his pillow?
Yes. It was actually my pillow next to it.
Okay. And so, before he went missing, or, well, have you ever gone over to Red Wing Street?
No.
Okay. And have you, and around this time, had you been over the hill by the bluff sign at the end of the street? Had you been over there around this time?
No, not around that time, but been out there a couple of times to go watch the sunset.
Okay. And when you would go out there to watch the sunset, where would you go specifically?
We would walk down the sidewalk on 8th Street, all the way down to the dirt road. We'd sit up on the cliff where it's he owns that street. It's a private property off to the left, and we would sit right there on the cliff.
And do you recall doing that either within the couple weeks following Michael's disappearance, or any time recently leading up to his disappearance?
No. After, when I was searching for Michael, yes. I'm sorry, could you ask the question again?
When you were searching for Michael, did you go to the end of 8th Street towards the bluff sign?
No, yes, I did, because the sun was setting, so that was around 9 o'clock. Yes, I did that evening.
Okay. And where did you go on that occasion when you were looking for Michael?
I didn't get to the bluff because I was told I had to come back because the detective needed to speak with me.
Oh, yes, you walked towards the bluff, but did you?
Yeah.
So, where that dirt road goes down, did you go down the dirt road at all?
No.
Okay. Did you go over the bluff at all?
No. I went the opposite direction. I went across the highway. Underneath the tunnel.
Okay. Is that this evening?
Yes.
And so, were you driving or did you walk?
There was a time I drove down to the splash pad. I left the Jeep there, I believe, and went walking. I went up the hill on 8th Street.
Okay, but are you saying the opposite way from the bluffs?
Yes.
Okay, I see. So not the bluffs, but towards the splash pad.
Yes.
Okay. Prior to this incident, were you familiar at all with Mr. Wondra?
Absolutely not.
Okay, have you ever interacted with him before, to your knowledge? And have you ever interacted with Sarah Wondra prior to this incident?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And for those that still insist on stating that Brandi or Tyler knew anyone that lived on Red Wing Street in that monster house, they did not. Okay? They had no knowledge of these awful, awful people whatsoever.
Did you also help law enforcement with any items for DNA sample?
Yes, I gave them toothbrushes, his shoe, the pillow, the blanket, and the monkey. we all did.
And do you recall what form that was in? Like how you did that?
I think we got mouth swab.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross examination from the defense.
Yes, please.
Good morning. So at the time on July 27th, the people that were living in your home were you and your husband, Tyler, correct?
Correct.
Your children, Kira, correct?
Correct.
She was 13 at the time, right?
No.
How old was she at the time? 15, okay. You had Ben, your son. He was 10 at the time, correct? Okay. And then also there was Michael, who was 5. And then, I'm going to butcher her name, Araya, correct? Aria, who was 2 at the time.
She turned 2 after Michael was abducted.
Okay. And then also there was Tyler's father, Robert, also known Bob, who lived at the house, correct?
Correct.
And when you and Tyler were at work, you had a nanny watch after your children, correct?
Correct.
Jennifer Hanna, correct?
Yes.
Bob would never watch the children, correct?
No, not at the time, no.
Okay. Is there a reason that Bob didn't watch the children?
We didn't want to bother him.
And then Kira, would she ever watch her siblings being 15?
Yes.
Okay. When you and Tyler were, say, out of the house for a date night or going grocery shopping, would Kira watch the children or would Jennifer?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, okay. And then Kira, she would just watch while she was at the house, correct? Watch the children while she was there?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of as a third set of hands?
Yes.
Okay. And then on the 27th, you last saw Michael around 12 noon, correct?
Correct.
And Michael was 5 at the time, right?
Yes.
And how tall was he?
About 3'7". Came out to about right here.
Right, so about here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how much did he weigh?
He was 50 pounds.
50 pounds, okay. So 3'7", 50 pounds. And when was the last time you went to the doctor with him? How sure are you of that?
He didn't really get sick, so whenever he needed to go, because he was all done with his vaccinations.
But as his mother, you're sure that he, at the time, was 3'7" and 50 pounds?
Yes.
Okay.
Such a strange question. Oh, as his mother, are you sure? I think Brandi is quite well aware of her children's age, their height, their weight. If you've gotten to know Brandi at all, she's an excellent, excellent mother. So that's a little bit harsh, in my opinion. But again, this is the defense.
Was he still in a car seat at the time?
Booster seat.
Booster seat. Okay. So he had graduated past the car seat to the booster seat.
Yes, but he was still in a 5-point. One of the car seats or the booster seats was a 5-point harness, and the other one was lap belt.
Okay, understood. And then let's talk about the living room in your house. At the time, on July 27th, there was a couch, correct?
2 couches. A couch, a love seat, and a recliner.
Okay. And that love seat, or the couch, was a pull-out sleeper couch, correct?
No.
Was the love seat a sleeper couch?
No.
Okay. But Michael would commonly sleep in the living room.
Yeah. He'd sleep wherever he fell asleep.
Okay. Because his room was with you and Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you can say yes or no, the court reporter.
Yes.
Thank you. And when Michael, your outside area, is it fenced in?
Yes.
Okay. And then the shop area, does it have a garage door to it?
Yes.
Okay. And is that garage door typically open, closed? How does that look?
That's typically closed.
Okay. So how Michael would commonly get outside, or anyone would get outside, would be through the front door?
There's the double doors in the dining room, and during the summers, we would use that door to go in and out of the yard.
Okay. And then could you get out of the yard with a fence door, or how would you do that?
There's a door that goes to the garage. That's how you get to the shop in the backyard, is through the garage. So there's an exit door to either or.
Okay. And you could go in and out of the backyard through that door, correct?
Yes.
So you left on the 27th. You left work around 12, correct?
I left my house around 12.
And then you got your shift started at 12:30.
Correct.
You had your lunch break around 4.
Correct.
You commonly check in to make sure everything's going okay, correct?
Every day.
Every day, no matter who's watching the children.
Yes.
Did you talk to Michael at 4?
Yes.
Okay. And then everything was fine, no concerns. And then the next time that you had contact with anyone from your family was around 7 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And you said that was when Tyler said you couldn't find Michael, correct?
Correct.
You kind of took that in stride and said he's probably hiding somewhere, right?
Yes.
You said that he likes to hide, I think you said kind of under a cabinet area?
Underneath the bed.
Underneath the bed, okay. Would he hide anywhere else in the house?
He would hide in the other bedroom, in the closet. And they did the older two kids' room.
Okay. And then would he ever hide outside? Was this something that he's common to do?
No.
Okay. So just inside the house he would hide. Is it common for him when he thought he was in trouble that he would hide?
No.
Would he play hide and seek with any of the neighborhood kids?
No.
And then once you got this call from Tyler and you heard the panic in his voice, that's when you decided to go home.
Yes.
When you say the panic in his voice, could you tell that he was under the influence of marijuana?
No.
Okay. Is it common for Tyler to smoke marijuana and watch the children?
Yes.
Oi. Again. Oh. Is it common for him to smoke marijuana while he's watching the children? Gee. Defense. I guess they don't have much else to toss at them. So they're going to use anything they can. And I said that before, but it kind of pisses you off. Especially when you know that this family did nothing wrong. They've been cleared by law enforcement. And their baby, their child, their sweet 5-year-old was stolen. He was abducted from them.
When you talked to Tyler, you said that you were on the phone for him about 9 minutes.
I didn't say that.
Okay. How long were you on the phone with Tyler?
Probably about 10 to 15 minutes.
And then this phone call lasted until you got to the car, correct?
Yes.
And then at that point you called Kira,
Yes.
and you told her that you needed her home
Yes.
because she was a trusted person that could help you find Michael, correct?
She was my daughter. I needed to know where all my children were at that moment.
Okay. You also wanted her home so she could help you look for Michael.
I wanted her home so I knew where she was.
Was the goal at any point for her to help look for Michael?
Not by me asking her. By her own free will. She wanted to look for her brother.
Okay. So at some point she went out of the house and she was looking for her brother.
She didn't leave the yard after that.
After she made it home.
Yes.
And she made it home after you made it to the house, correct?
Correct.
Because she was over at a friend's house down the road, right?
Correct. No, not down the road.
Okay.
No, she went to a friend's house in Payette. They came and picked her up.
Okay. So it took her about 10-15 minutes to get home.
Yes, correct.
And then you, how fast did you make it home?
I would say about 15, 20 minutes.
And then when you got home, Tyler was already speaking to a law enforcement officer, correct?
To my recollection, yes.
Did you speak to law enforcement at that point, or did you go out looking?
I was out looking.
Did you go home first, or did you go to the splash pad first?
I went to the splash pad first. No, I went home. Excuse me, I went home. I came home first, and I saw Tyler stop speaking with an officer. And then I drove to the splash pad and got out of the vehicle to talk, because I saw two women there. And when I jumped out, they said, "We haven't seen a little boy." And I said, "You haven't seen a blue-eyed, blonde-haired little boy anywhere. He hasn't come through here." And they said, "No." So I jumped back in the Jeep and I went back to the house.
And in this neighborhood that you live in, it was common for you to go to the splash pad, correct? And Michael has gotten out before and tried to follow his brother to the splash pad.
Correct.
Okay. And has he gotten out of the house and ever tried to go to the splash pad other than that one time?
No.
And you said earlier about the bluff area that you went to. Is this before or after you went to the splash pad?
After.
After. Okay. You said that the sun was setting, so it would be closer to 9 o'clock.
Correct.
Did law enforcement, did they want you to stay in the yard, or did you go up on your own and look?
I went up on my own and looked, but I did ask they wanted me to stay within a certain area.
Sure.
Didn't want me to leave the small area where they were.
In the small area that they were, it's the area that you and your family would kind of be in and around, correct?
Correct.
So the neighborhood where the Red Wing address is, you and your family have never gone to that neighborhood.
Correct.
And the places where you and your family, including Michael, would go would be to the splash pad, right? Would be up and down 8th Street, correct?
Correct.
And then the 8th Street leads to that bluff area, right?
Correct.
And then also 9th Street where you live, and where Michael has at least the one friend at the time, is the only area that y'all would walk around to.
Correct.
When you were walking up and down 9th, you spoke with two neighbors, correct?
Correct.
And they had seen Michael around 6:45, 7.
Correct.
And that was on 9th Street, correct?
Yes.
Where they had seen Michael.
Yes.
This cliff area, or bluff area, there's a drop-off next to it. It's an area where you wouldn't want your children to be playing on, correct?
Correct.
It's a dangerous, kind of like rocky, hilly area.
Exactly.
Okay. And this is where you have gone with Michael to watch the sunset before.
Correct. Not down that road, just right on the left-hand side of that road. There's a little cliff on the left-hand side of the road that you can look off of.
And I believe that you were informed law enforcement that Michael, the shoes that were missing from Michael's closet or area were some flip-flops, correct?
Yes.
And these flip-flops, these were new to Michael, correct?
Correct.
He's used to wearing tennis shoes, right?
Yep.
And it was common for him to put the flip-flops on opposite feet, correct?
Yes. He had only had flip-flops for 3 days. He was always still in buying flip-flops, so putting them opposite, it wouldn't fall off his feet.
Okay. So only had the flip-flops for 3 days. So these shoes would be difficult for him to travel far distances in, correct? And then Michael, he had a bicycle and a scooter, correct?
Yes.
And those were at the house on the 27th after he had left the house, correct?
Correct.
And the big wheel tricycle, Michael's never owned one of those, correct? On the 27th, law enforcement searched inside of your house, correct?
Yes.
And then they came back on the 28th.
Yes.
Did they search your house at any other point besides the 27th or the 28th?
Yes. And the FBI, or Idaho State Police, I believe. We had signed waivers for them to come and search the home.
Okay. How many times did they come into the home, if you can recall?
On the 27th? Or total?
Total.
To search the home, I'd say I can recall 3 times.
Okay. And then the outside of the home, were there any sort of scent dogs, cadaver dogs, tracking dogs that searched the outside of your home?
Yes.
Do you recall how many times that occurred?
No.
Did any of those tracking cadaver scent dogs go inside of your home at all?
Not while I was present.
Okay. And then what about any sort of vehicles that you or Tyler or Bob owned?
Not that I recall everything they needed. I just said, here, yes, signed everything, whatever they needed or whatever they asked for, we gave it to them.
Sure. But you don't have any recollection of this happening in your presence? When law enforcement asked you if there was any substances that Michael could have ingested in the home, you told them no, correct? There was marijuana in the home, though.
Not in the home, in the shop.
Okay.
It was not accessible to and children at all.
So if the marijuana was on a table, visible, that would not be accessible to the children?
No, because they wouldn't be in there with it while it was out.
I have to say, I'm not a fan of this defense attorney. Okay. Thankfully, Brandi is on her A game here. And lots of love to her. Because I don't know if I could deal with that.
On the 20 or after the 27th, you led a significant effort of handing out missing posters, correct?
Correct.
You started that on the 28th, right?
Actually, Jennifer Hanna brought she had 100 flyers made, and they were actually donated.
Okay. When you started,
She brought those on the 28th.
but you started handing those out to the neighbors on the 28th, correct? And this included going over to the subdivision off of 8th Street, correct?
Correct.
So you would walk up and down everyone's house and give a flyer if someone was home, correct?
Or put it in a mailbox. Yes. Or leave it in a door.
And so that was from the 28th up until mid-August. What time frame did you stop handing out flyers?
Current date.
But
I haven't stopped.
sure. But the week after, you were doing an effort of walking neighborhood door to door, handing out those flyers.
When I could, yes. Most of our time was spent with FBI, Idaho State Police, the Fairland Police Department, Fayette County Sheriffs. That's who we were spending our time with.
Okay. But when you were not spending time with them, you were handing
That
out
was
these
sending
flyers.
flyers, yes.
And you've mentioned for the DNA portion that you provided police, FBI, sort of law enforcement agency, a shoe, correct?
Correct.
A pillow.
Correct.
And no one's used the shoe, but you've used the pillow, correct?
Correct.
You said that used to be your pillow.
Mm-hmm.
And that you gave them a blanket, correct?
Correct.
Other people in your household had used the blanket.
No, not that one.
And then a stuffed monkey.
Correct.
And did anyone else in the house use that stuffed monkey?
No.
And then you also provided a toothbrush, correct? And other people in the house had used that toothbrush.
His little sister,
Okay.
Aria.
And did law enforcement collect DNA from Aria?
Law enforcement collected DNA from all of us.
So even Aria?
Correct.
Speaking about Tyler and marijuana use, was there ever a point where you would be uncomfortable with him watching Michael after he'd used marijuana? And you weren't concerned that he was smoking marijuana and watching your children?
No.
What about alcohol use?
Tyler really doesn't drink. He's never, he would drink like if we've gone on a date or something. Or have a couple beers on a hot summer day. Not much.
And was there ever a time where, when Tyler was watching Michael, that he could not find him before?
No.
Okay. So this is the first time that you've had to come home to assist with finding?
Yes.
And has law enforcement ever been called before to assist with finding Michael?
No.
And then, just to confirm, the last time you saw or have heard from Michael has been on the 27th. Thank you.
Yeah. I just give Brandi amazing props for getting through this with the defense attorney. I really, really do. Because it was like she was just beating down on the fact that there was marijuana in the house and that Tyler may have been smoking it with the children while he was watching them. I mean, really? Because no other parent in the entire country potentially smokes, a little bit of, MJ, potentially, like she said, he doesn't really drink. Maybe they have a drink or two while they're watching their kids. So that does not make them a bad parent or not being able to watch their child. That this had nothing to do with anything but that Michael got out. He walked outside to look for friends to play with while his father was upstairs taking care of little Buggy and ordering that pizza and then going outside for a few minutes. It was just a period of time where he was alone in that living room. It did not make Tyler a bad parent. So that was Tyler on the stand, the first, and then of course Brandi on the stand. And like I stated a couple times, it was the defense got me a little frustrated. I'm sure you guys can agree on that, with them just over harping on the whole the MJ stuff. But again, I mean, this is unfortunately this is going to be kid gloves compared to what's going to happen at trial. So yeah. So let me know your guys' thoughts on these two on their testimony on the stand. And again, please let me know if you want me to go through the other stuff. There's some video of the monster. I'm going to call him the monster. Not going to try to use his name. We're going to call him the monster. Speaking to detectives. There's a couple clips of that, and there is a video of him speaking to his mother, which is very hard to hear, but I have a lot of respect for her because she's telling him to do the right thing. So let me know if you guys want me to go through those, and I will do that at some point this week. But with that said, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and most of all, stay safe.